Hello, I'm Jazz Rose, author of Teaching Primary PE, and I wanted to talk today about 3 techniques that drive effective teaching and learning. Are you ready? Number 1, call and response. It's a really key and critical technique that is really embraced throughout primary education, and it's a powerful technique to help ensure that all the children are involved in the learning process, all engaged. It's fascinating when you see it, and you can shout something like rhythm, and then all the children respond rhythm. When you do call and response, make sure you have a very clear gesture for my turn, your turn. This really helps to avoid any misalignment of behaviour and really just keeps the pace, flow and energy of your lesson. It's a fantastic tool, especially if you're an MFL teacher, because you're talking about new words and really embedding the key words so that children remember them. The more children repeat something, the more it gets ingrained in the memory. So you might be talking about school objects in French, for example, le livre, get the children to respond, le livre. You might say le cahier, you show them what it is, and the children respond, le cahier. And again, it's just about reinforcing the knowledge and really helping to help children to embed those key terms. The second technique is peer talk. Again, it's a common technique and it's really becoming embraced in primary education, which is fascinating. The reason that we do peer talk is so that, again, all the pupils are engaged in the process. Instead of asking one question just to one person, it's a really powerful technique to ensure that pupils are collaborating. Beyond that though, it really allows children to begin to challenge each other's answers and develop leadership and communication skills amongst their peers. So again, instead of just one person answering, you're really beginning to understand why you're really developing relationships between pupils so that they can really become the teacher, the facilitator, the leader in the situation and begin to ask critical questions. An example of this, if you're going through a text in English and literacy or drama, for example, you might be talking about, okay, so how do you, tell me about how Charlie feels during this passage. Discuss it with your partner. On the board, to help you with your layering and differentiation, to help encourage pupils to facilitate leadership during the conversation, you can have a few sub-questions underneath. So the first question might be, how does Charlie feel during this passage? B, what makes him feel that way? C, how do you know? Where is the evidence? So children begin to check with each other. They're constantly assessing each other and checking for understanding. How do you know that Charlie feels that way? Where's your evidence in the passage? Can you show me? And these things really help to facilitate positive debate and stimulated learning within the classroom. As a teacher, you then begin to facilitate and really allow the pupils to take lead of that learning journey. The third one is similar to peer talk, but it's slightly different, and it's called Think, Pair, Share. Essentially, you think for a moment about what is this new concept that the teacher is telling me, and the reason that that's so critically important is that, especially in primary school, you ask a question and you've got your eager beavers, haven't you? And they go, yeah, I know. And then what that means is that they don't always come up with the best answers. You know, as teachers, we've all seen and been in those situations where children want to respond before you've completed asking the question. And it's a really powerful technique, slightly different from peer talk, when you're introducing a brand new concept or talking about a really higher level question. So the first thing you get them to do is think about it. So you give them 10, 20, maybe 30 seconds to think about how they're going to answer the question, and then you get them to peer talk it and talk through it with their partner. Again, introduce that challenge concept where children can talk about, what's your answer? How can you prove it to me? Show me the evidence. How are you going to communicate to the rest of the class when we share it? And then the third layer of it is to make sure we share that concept with the class. When you share it, use random questioning to select random pupils to come up and talk about what they've learned. That way it keeps all the pupils immersed in the learning journey and they're all engaged, they're all thinking about it because they all want to come up with the best answer. So it's a really powerful way to keep the children stimulated and again facilitate those leadership conversations. So to run through those techniques again, the first one was whole class call and response to embed keywords, retain information, and ensure all pupils are engaged. The second one was peer talk, again to facilitate leadership conversations and to ensure that all the pupils are immersed in the learning journey and developing that collaboration and peer assessment. And the final one was about Thinkpairshare, and the benefit of that system is really beginning to encourage children to think deeply about a new concept or idea. You know, peer talk is really powerful for when it's something that they're revising, something that you've acquired, something that they've learned already. And then Thinkpairshare is thinking about a brand new concept, a brand new idea, and really getting them to think about it so that they can be creative and come up with their own cognitive ideas, and then discuss it, develop it, and then share it with the class. It really allows you to come up with much more powerful answers. An example of this is when I was watching a basketball lesson and the teacher said to the children, right, now we've developed those skills for dribbling the ball, which is fantastic. What I want you to do, before you answer the question, I just want you to bow your head, close your eyes, and think deeply about how you're going to use those skills that you've acquired into the apply phase of the lesson, and how you're going to use your dribbling skills to get past your opponent. He just stood there and allowed them to really close their eyes, think about it, and then he said, right, now talk to your partner about what you thought about. And then again, the pupils were challenging each other. They were extending upon each other's ideas. So as a pupil, I might have 3 ideas, and if my partner's got 3 more ideas, wow, all of a sudden we've collaborated and we've got 6 fantastic ideas that we can share with the class. Not only that, then we can go away and apply those skills, practice them, and really start to develop an understanding of how we apply those skills in a real life context. I hope you found that video really useful. Do sign up and subscribe to my YouTube page. It's Jazz Rose on YouTube, and just type in Teaching Primary or Teaching Primary PE. I do love your comments, so do drop a comment, drop some feedback on how you've successfully or unsuccessfully implemented some of those key ideas, and I'd love to get your feedback. Have a fantastic week of teaching and learning. I've been Jazz Rose. Speak soon.